Hey guys, how y'all doing? My name is Kieran, and this is Fox Off RPG. So today, we're doing an unboxing. If you haven't guessed, it's of Portal 2 Adventure. You guys know I've been covering this quite a bit on the channel. The Kickstarter still has a couple hours left. I was hoping this would have come yesterday, but it didn't. It came today. So I'm rushing to get this out. So hopefully the time this comes out, there'll still be a couple hours left. Basically what I'm going to be doing is going over the contents of this, what you're going to get. And again, why I think you should probably pick it up if you have any level of interest. It'd have to be for the PDFs, but in this case, the physical, because this is all the physical stuff. Now, there's one or two things that aren't in here, or there's going to be little changes. Again, this is sort of a preview unboxing stuff here. As you can see, there's a few little dinges in the box here. This is because this is actually Matthew's version of it that he brought with him to Arnicon. So he shoved it in his backpack and what you call it? Briefcase, you know, for the plane. It got thrown around, it was used a lot. So that's why that's like that. But yours one will come perfectly brand new, spanking, sexy. So we'll go over basically the contents of this. So you have the Arduin Trilogy box set, you have the Barrows and Borderlands limited edition box set. You know, that's my main game that I play, or I'm a player at. And we have the Lost Dungeons of Tonisborg. It's going to contain history, ideas for referees and DMs, how you should run and do things, the official Blackmore set, and you get a 10 level mega dungeon with its own rules. Again, the idea is the game of games, and this is what we're doing. We're doing the game of games. Now, everything I will be looking at in here, I will be doing a review on over the coming weeks. But yeah, so let's get into this. So, first things first. Open the box. So, you open the box, you obviously are Portal 2 Adventure there. You will also see some amazing artwork throughout this whole box. Now, we are going to go over some of the contents here. So, we have the Barrows and Borderlands set. This is the trilogy set. Well, it's actually more than a trilogy, because I'll show you now in a sec. We'll just take some of the stuff out, put some stuff aside, and we can go through it one bit at a time. Obviously, everything will be timestamped, so you have a rough idea where everything is. We have the Arduin Trilogy box set. In this trilogy, there's 4 booklets. How does that work? You'll see now in a second. You have the Lost Dungeons of Tonisborg. Now, some people say Tonisborg. I'm going to say Tonisborg. It's a whole like European thing, maybe. You also get Emperor's Choice catalog, a bunch of miniatures and stuff you can get if you want to get more, and some of the books they have. Again, we'll go through all this again briefly, or in a few minutes, I'd say. You then have the Arduin Adventure booklet. This was a stretch goal they added in. I believe it got reached. From what I don't know too much about, this is the thing I know the least about. But from what I understand, this is like David Hargrave's version of like basic. But it's basic Arduin, so that's from what I understand at least. Now, as you can see here, this is not going to be the final copy. This is like not a proof copy; it's a concept copy. So your finished copy will actually look more like this. It's going to be printed by the same guys as well. But again, we'll go over that now shortly. We have the Portal 2 Adventure combined character sheets. I think you get 4 of these. Yep, 4. And listen, yeah. These are some thick boys. I know Matt had a bit of a problem with the printing of that. But you get Swords and Dragons card games that are non-card collectible. Obviously, you can use these for playing poker. But there is rules in here, which you can find for free. The rules for this are absolutely free. They're on Drive-Thru RPG. There is a QR code here, a link to get straight to it. Obviously, I'll leave the link for everything below, and you can just look it up as well. And in this, we have... oh, there's another character sheet I left on the bottom there, or got put to the bottom, I should say. We then have the Arduin bundle set here, which this is going to contain art prints. It's going to contain maps, big and small maps. Now the small maps are not small, but it's some awesome stuff in here, guys. Not only that, guys, everyone who gets this bundle, I'll put this off to the side and we go through everything one by one. Give me one sec. Everyone who gets this bundle, you will automatically get the following miniatures. You are going to get a Doom Guard. I'll rip this guy out now in a minute. You're going to get a Wendigo, and you're going to get 2 Sluggets. Let's take a look at the Sluggets quickly here. Now these are cast pewter. So if you guys ever have never used any like metal prints, not metal prints. Let me see if we get a good light on that. These are some really old casting machines. They're made back in the day, I think from the 70s or 80s, but they have this old school charm, which is what we're all about, really. So these are called sluggets. You got 2 of these. Everyone who gets this bundle, 2 of these. You're going to get 1 Wendigo. Again, there is a few hours left in this, but any leftover copies you will be able to find online. It'll be on their websites. I'm not sure whose website or what, or things are going to be divided out, or they're each going to get some. I'm not sure, so I can't say. So we have a Wendigo, which is funny because when people think of a Wendigo, they don't actually think of a wind elemental. So I think Hargrave, when he heard about a Wendigo, he was like, "Oh, it's like a storm thing," but it has some little eyes in here. For anyone who hasn't actually painted any of these miniatures before, what you need to do is when you get this, you need to get some slightly warm soapy water, an old brush, like toothbrush, and you need to lightly scrub these. It'll help to get rid of any release agent. And then you're going to want to get a primer, whatever color you want. And I think this is the Doomguard, I believe it's called. And you get a tiny little gemstones to put on it when it's nice and painted. So you glue it in, so which is awesome. So yeah, I think this is so cool. Yeah, I love minis. I don't have too many metal minis left. I used to have quite a bit more when I was younger. I think I still have some of the old Lord of the Rings metal minis as well. So, yep, I have at home, what is it? The Weathertop. So you have the Ringwraiths, Aragorn, and the Hobbits. But yeah, I better put this away. But yeah, guys, we're going to go over the rest of the contents. Now, I'm rushing, but we're going to cover things pretty well, so don't worry about that. So first, we're going to look over the B&B box set, because most people know what I have, well, what we have looked at before in this, and there's going to be some new stuff. And obviously, as you open up the box set, you'll get some awesome dice. These are like this deep, like red wine, black, and they're all going to be random dice, so you never know what you're going to get, guys. So, the first thing out of the box, at the front, we have Dracula in space. Now, Matthew has talked about this a little bit, and he said, "Oh, my players described it as a 6-level funnel." That was me. Yes, it's a 6-level funnel. It's sort of a joke, in a way, but it's very hard. And this is part of the fun. It's super cool. You're going to have a hell of a time. It's going to give you some lore and ideas on the background, how things are going to work. Then you'll have the room descriptions for everything. Here's the actual map. I was watching Matt actually on our Discord and stuff draw some of the maps. That is totally not what it looks like. Let's say what I mean. Don't be getting any funny ideas, you weirdos. And you'll have multiple levels to this as well. But again, guys, I'll be going over everything in this entire set. Not just box set, everything here over the coming weeks. So don't worry about that. I'm very familiar with some of it and less familiar with other stuff in here. This is about 20 odd pages. Yep, 24 pages including the back cover. And you might think that's not a lot. But guys, the writing in this is quite small. There's tons of content on this ship, and it is going to be a deadly, deadly encounter. It's going to be an absolute beach. I do say so myself. You then have your Dracula in space trap matrix, which is cool because it's going to be some unique trap stuff and laser swords, and some special note stuff here. Basically, this is the layout of the ship from the side angle, doing the back. Like again, the whole idea of this stuff is to do it in the old school way. And when it comes to actual paper, the paper and all this is the same. This is linen paper, so it will last longer. I believe it's 25 or 30 pound linen paper. So that might make you think it's not super strong, but it is fairly strong. You're not going to rip it easily at all. It's well constructed paper. Again, it's linen. Then you have this heavy card stock, which again, this stuff, it's going to last you a lifetime. We have the old D&D stuff out there. It's still around, but some of it's starting to fall apart. This will last much longer. Again, we have our Barrows and Borderlands Men's and Mutant Booklet 1. This is going to be for your characters mostly, your character creation. You know, we have looked at this before, but there is a few differences in this. The differences are going to be the same as what you get in the Black Label version. But this is limited edition. There's going to be some limited art in here as well. I believe there is. We'll just have a quick go through some of it here. Race details, character, blah blah blah. Like, again, I'll go over this in more detail, but I've already done that before. So if you're familiar with Barrows and Borderlands, you know what you're gonna get in here. An absolute amazing game. It is my core game that I play in. Different techniques everyone can use. Yeah, and here's some awesome art in the back. Awesome new stuff. We have the Sorcerers, Psychics and Sorcerers, Booklet 2. Again, this is going to have all your spells, your for everyone. Look. Matt, I asked him to sign this and he did. He signed it. Did he sign it in all of them or one of them? Oh my god, he signed something in all the booklets, I think. Oh my god, a trap matrix in the Men's Mutants. Oh my god. This one says, no, there are no Irish spells. That's hilarious. So yeah, it's going to be this similar stuff we looked at before. The back cover, you're going to have some new art here. It's awesome sorceress. But yeah, this is the same awesome stuff we have looked at before. Again, it's my core game. All your magic user spells, your cleric spells, spell explanations, what they are, how they work, how to cast higher level spells if you're on a lower level. Item identification is in here. Psionics is in here. Black necromancy rituals. I like this because you can be a warrior, but then you can also be a necromancer warrior, so you can be that tough guy, the tough warrior guy. We then have our horrors and treasure booklet. Oh my god, he did put something in everything. Cube of the H-Force, level 25 radiation. Oh my god. Oh my god. I knew he was going to sign it, but I didn't think he was going to put like a whole bunch of stuff in it. That is so cool. Again, when I do the reviews, we'll look at that in more detail. But yeah, I have our monster index here. It's going to have tons of monsters, guys. Like we have the beginning, it has the alphabet, or in alphabetical order, what they are. Everything here. Tons and tons of monsters. And then we have in here on the robot side, you'll have robot as race, how you can play as a robot race. You have your combat, stealth, service, engineer, medical, pleasure, and scout. There's a lot. So these are extra races essentially, which is pretty cool. Then you have your treasure types. Maxilla the Dread. That's a player. I believe that's John's player. John is also working on something, I believe, but we'll see. So you have your treasure tables. Dinoco Star Armor. I think that one was done by Castle Grief as well. Magic item identification, miscellaneous stuff. But yeah, guys, it's some of the awesome stuff we've looked at before, and some new art as well. Again, we will be looking over everything. So then you have your Underworld and Borderlands adventure. Home universe blank. That's cool. Xerxes. This one was done by Jacob, I believe. That's his character. So this is going to tell you basically how the world's going to play. This is more of a referee book, like trap and trick doors, stuff like that. Monsters on the world, searching doors and secrets, listening, how that's going to work. Wandering monster tables. Of course, you want to create your own, but this is give you a good start when you're in a dungeon. It's how to administer experience points, if there's any extra special abilities. Everything that's in here. XP for character classes. So fighters are going to gain more XP based on combat, and like magi's will, like basically mages are going to get less, but they will get it in other ways as well. So pretty awesome, guys. Permanent wound table. So when you drop to 0 hit points, you now will get permanent wound. It doesn't mean you're going to die, but if you get to -10, you're just outright dead. But if you roll like a 100, your character's just dead. So that's kind of funny. Specialists for your if your towns or buildings your own, tons of stuff like that. So that's cool. Radioactive Boogaloo. We haven't looked at this one before. We will look at this in more detail. Like I said, we'll do a proper review and everything. And are you sure you want to go to? But you sure you want to do that? Okay, Matthew. Yes, I'm sure. So this is going to contain the compatibility guide, guys. Now you've seen me and Matthew on stream go over this with the PDFs. So this is going to have all the races and classes you can have in this set of everything combined. Okay, it's then going to give you chainmail conversion here, but let's go back. It's going to give you the maximum, the minimum health points they're going to have, the save and throws all in here, base level stats based per level here, all that stuff. Everything is here. You have your chainmail conversion stuff in here. You have some extra rules and optional rules you can expand things with if you want to throw things in. You have devotion and patron stuff in here. So this is going to be for your more clerical classes, your paladins, or if you can even saint class, all that stuff. Anti-paladins, and then we have an actual paladin in here. There's a bunch of new classes. This has been free PDF for a long time, but this is the first time it's going to be available in print, and this will come in print a little while after the Kickstarter ends, from what I understand, which is awesome. A solo dungeon generation flowchart, very simple, very easy to use and flow, and it kind of gives you some. It doesn't tell you exactly when to do every single thing. It gives you like, okay, if you do this, you're going to roll on this table, and then every now and then you want to check for traps and secret doors, or when you feel like they should maybe be popping up, or potentially popping up. Stuff like that's cool. It's absolutely brilliant. I love this. I know Boogaloo 2, Radioactive Boogaloo 2, will be coming out, or Tougaloo will be coming out in the coming months as well. And you also get a sample dungeon as well. I have played in a part of this, and it was fun. And yeah, guys, some more awesome art. This is definitely has that Dune feel to it, the art there. So yeah, that's everything you're going to get in the Barrows and Borderlands set. You also get your standard Barrows and Borderlands character sheet as well. But this is on that really heavy card we talked about and saw earlier from the combined sheets. Okay, so I'm very, guys, I'm so happy. I can't wait to play this with people. But I'm running it. It's gonna be awesome. On my own home table. Awesome dice as well. Now we're gonna look at the Arduin trilogy quickly. Again, I'm going to do a more in-depth review, and we have more dice. I'm not sure if everyone's going to get 2 dice. I'm not sure, but these ones look cool. So they're purpley and blue, sort of cosmic, and they have like glitter in them. What? Okay, what are we going to get in here? First of all, we get our Arduin character sheets. We get some monster and item cards. It's going to give descriptions of what they are and how they work, which I think are awesome. As you can see, that's an awesome sort of club weapon, and this absolute horrifying, disgusting creature. Brilliant, I love that. So that just the basic Arduin character sheet. This is not the combined sheet. This actually is fairly similar to it, but the combined sheet does have like the Barrows and Borderlands stuff and some of the Tonisborg stuff. So when we talk about this book, this set, I should say, it's over 800 pages. But as you can see, we got 2 volume 1s. This does not include the 2 copies. If you did include them, you're talking about 900 plus pages. So, so the reason you're going to get 2 copies is because you have 2 different arts of the first volume, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, as you can see, they're very different. But you then have this one. I think one of these is the Errol Otis one. I'm not very good when it comes to artists and names, so I apologise. But if one of these is definitely Errol Otis, I think it might be this one. But you have the uncensored booby picture. Yes, free the titty. So we're just gonna have a look at one of the booklets. There's no point in going through volume 1 twice. So we'll just grab this one here. You're gonna have tons of awesome art. As you can see, this is very densely packed. There's tons of information in here. Yeah, you're going to have a great time. Now, when you talked about make how to create character with everything, we're going to use Radioactive Boogaloo. That's going to tell you everything you need, how to create everything. And this is going to put experience level charts. It's going to have for all the new character levels in here. I'm not going to go through everything in this because there is a ton, and it does get into a lot of kind of complicated stuff, but like a lot of numbers and stuff. But it's fairly straightforward to create a character. You have character limitations. Example, you do not have to follow this if you don't want, because the idea, this is the game of games. If you want, everyone can be any class or any race or anything like that. Okay, but if you want to use the character limitations, here's the page where they are. Example, a human can be basically anyone. Okay, but an elf can only reach 8th level in cleric, mage, thief, or thief-like characters. Level 10 in warrior, but they can be unlimited psychic, and monk and paladin. So there is going to be limitations. Like there is some races which cannot be anything. That's only if you wish. Again, the whole idea of this is modularity. You're then going to have your maximum and minimum points for like your strength, dexterity, and all that stuff. Again, if you say you absolutely want to be, say, an elf or a hobbit or dwarf, you're going to roll your 3d6. If you're a dwarf and you have 17 or 18 in your intelligence, but this says you can only have up to 15. Either the DM or a referee can be like, it doesn't matter, you can do that, or they say, okay, you want to be that race for sure. You're not a 17 or 18 anymore. You're now maximum 15. That's how that's going to work. Very simple, very straightforward. So yeah, you're going to have tons of tables. You have your weight and height charts if you want to use them. Body determination charts. So if you're really skinny and bony, you have a -1 to strength. But if you're like obese, you're going to have -1 to constitution and dexterity. But if you're like muscular, +1 to strength. Very muscular, +1 to constitution and +2 to strength. So there's definitely a lot of cool stuff in here, guys. Years and years of stuff with gameplay. You have the character alignment stuff. I could go into more depth with that. And I have been playing with some of this stuff in our game. I've been play testing stuff. We're gonna have a merchant class. I have a merchant in the game. I also have a witch hunter, which is awesome. You have the type of psychics they have in this game. You have a barbarian. The barbarian in this is awesome. It's more like a thief fighter type almost. You have a techno, you have a room weaver, you have a medicine man and witch hunter. I love the witch hunters, guys. They're so much fun, and it gives you a bunch of new equipment and other stuff you can have. Now, this is the Multiversal Trading Company. We have multiversal trading companies in our campaign on Discord on Matthew's channel, and it is so cool. Like, if you're in a town that doesn't have a lot of stuff, but it has a multiversal corporation, well, things are going to be much higher priced there, but it's going to have things maybe that town doesn't normally have, so that's cool. You have a bunch of new spells, cleric spells as well. I think there's the Hargraves, what was it? Oh, magic spells. Yeah, there's absolute tons and tons of stuff in here. Magical treasures. Yeah, and it's not like spelled magic, it's like magic. Look with a K, magic. Different notes on combat. Again, the whole idea is to take what you want and like and have the modularity, and you have tons of great art through this as well. If you want to get into more detail with the different kinds of combat, you can do that with this chart. If you don't want to, just stick with your normal chart that you have or use in your game. You're also going to have a few new tables. Speaking of, you have your critical hit and fumble tables. These are so much fun. You have the brawl chart if you want to add that in from this game if you want to. Hit dice and rangers for different creatures and stuff. For the wear stuff, which is awesome. Dinosaur charts. There's a bunch of new monsters and encounters and stuff like that. Encounter charts for dungeons, overland and water. So again, you're going to pick and choose the stuff that you want. Or if you're going to be transported to the world of Arduin, you will then use that stuff. But yeah, guys, this is awesome. I'll go into way more detail with everything again. This is sort of just a look at and seeing what you're getting on the unboxing. I'm going to go quicker through these other booklets. But yeah, I'm excited. The true strength functional chart, how that's going to work. Then more charts, giant strength equivalence, charisma, how that's going to work. Morale chart for hirelings. So if the morale breaks, you can then roll your D100 and it's going to see how they leave. So it's kind of like your critical hit and fumble table. So if they fail, that's awesome. You then have optional appearance charts, which are fun. And there is some of this stuff when you're creating your character. You're going to be jumping from bucket 1, 2, and 3. If you're using this stuff along with the Barrows and Borderlands and Tonisborg stuff. But it tells you what's where and how things will go. You're going to have new character classes, the Runes Singer. Again, the Saint. A Saint, and this is very interesting, because a Saint cannot do physical fighting. They have to stay away from combat. So I think they have to do some sort of support stuff from what I understand. But once they get to the high levels, they are super powerful from what I understand. You have an outlaw type. I think it's in volume 2, it might be volume 3, where you have the gunnery charts. So it's going to be done through caliber. So not just every gun does the same thing, because more condensed character limitations. Again, this is sort of optional stuff. If you don't want to do that, don't have to do a character save and throw list. That's in there. Resurrection chart, percentile chance, and how things are going to work if you want to use the stuff that's in here. Of course, all this stuff can be used with any OSR type game. This was originally designed for OD&D. Here's the gunnery chart I was talking about. Large gunnery charts, general gunnery charts. Yeah. Experience chart for monster slaying. General hireling costs, which is cool. You can then get like an assassin, whatever. I can see this stuff is often in gold in some games, but if you're doing a silver-based economy, you use silver instead. Usually, that's going to be up to the DM or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, there's lots of great stuff in here. Like the stuff like different types of ale, honey, hay, multiversal goods, more stuff like that, more multiversal good charts, how much things going to be cost in coins and the type of coins, like copper, silver, gold, electrum, you know. Orange pearl, white pearl. I said pepper when I saw the pearl. Tons more spells. I believe in book 3 here, volume 3 we're going to look at, that has we've new treasure, but I think book 3 has the most amount of monsters. They all have monsters in the books here, in the booklets. But I believe volume 3 has like 100 new monsters. But yeah, guys, you have done key to dungeon signposts. So if you're a player, you can have a copy of this, or you just write down what the signs look like. And if you want to write them in your map, or your DM does, that's cool. Again, all this stuff is meant to be modular. You have weapon breakage charts. If you want to have your weapons degrade over time, there's a chart in here for it. If you don't like that stuff, don't use it. You're not forced to use everything in here. This is just use what you think is cool, and that will work with your game. The same with everything you're looking at here. That's how it is. No one's forcing anyone to do anything like that. So there's, again, more awesome stuff in here. And I can't wait to get into the Tonisborg stuff, because that's what I know the least about. And I think that might be my second... I might leave that to my last review, just because I know the least about it. But I do know there's a ton of amazing ref information. So, yeah. Let's get into this one. Ooh, more boobies. Character legacy chart. Oh, this is going to be basically where your family comes from. So are you a commoner? Are you close to royalty? My witch hunter is actually close to royalty. And that can be interpreted in several ways. Either you have spent a lot of time near and around royalty, or you're like from a super wealthy and rich family. You can be orphans, natural AC for different creatures and enemies. But if you don't like that, just have everyone have the same AC. Like everyone starts off with like 9. But if you want to have it like different, you can. You're also going to have, I think this book has the Fraints in it, which is funny enough. These guys here, this guy here, basically giant ant creature guys, which is super cool. Character class: assassin, druid, forester. It's kind of like a ranger type character. True paladins. So you're going to have several types of paladins you can pick from between the different games. You have sages. You have deodants as player characters. You're going to have Fraints as player characters. Suggards as player characters. I think that's how I pronounce it. Resurrection and other notes. There's tons of great stuff in here, guys. Now we are using some of this stuff, some of us are, for testing purposes for a long time, or for a good while now, a couple of weeks, and it just goes like a bloody glove. Like I have a green skull, which is from Barrows and Borderlands, as a merchant within the Arduin stuff, and I'm using the digital version of the character sheet, the combined character sheet. We'll have a look at it in a sec, and it just goes so well. And like this picture is going to basically sum up what Arduin is, in my opinion. You have this demon with his magic sword facing off this guy with a laser pistol or machine gun thing in a underground facility with machines and robots, or in space. Like that's so cool. And we have new monsters, and like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this first page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in this page. There is monsters in this called boomers and zoomers, which I just think that's funny. You get attacked by a bunch of zoomers. You know, guys, like, stuff like that is so cool. The elementals, lesser notes on demons. Yeah, there's tons of stuff in here. Basically some more general information, how things can work, what things mean, and more awesome charts. Charts are always cool, brigands and stuff like that. But again, I'll get more details in this in an upcoming video in the coming weeks. We go over everything that's in this box set, guys. Hopefully by then I'll also have the minis paint up as well, and we have our awesome dice. So we're almost done. We're halfway through essentially. So we'll have a quick look at the character sheet now. This is the combined Portal to Adventure character sheet, which is going to have everything for stuff from Tonisborg to Arduin and Barrows and Borderlands that you need to put in. Now, most of the stuff is going to be like here. How I was doing this in the game, I just rolled 3d6 or 4d6 and dropped the lowest for everything, and that's basically how that's going to work for the most part, unless it says on the character creation stuff. All that stuff is going to be explained in the booklet. We also done a video on character creation, me and Matthew did, so if you want to know more, check that video out. It is a longer video, but it only takes about 15-20 minutes to create an in-depth character, and you can get some crazy stuff happen. Like, one of the characters I created was basically an assassin, and by the end of it he ended up being like a near undead, where undead mistake him for being an undead. He also has vampiric like abilities, but he's also very weak to fire. He does extra damage from fire. And you have again the Swords and Dragons decks, the card decks. Again, you can use these for poker or just normal in-game stuff, but it has its own game you can check out. So if you want, the rules are absolutely free. You can find them on Director RPG. We then have the Emperor's Choice sort of booklet. This is June 2025, and this is going to show some of the stuff they have for sale, really. Again, this is the sort of finished quality or type you're going to have when it comes to the Arduin Adventure booklet. Now, this is actually my first time looking at the Arduin Adventure booklet. I looked at it for about 2 minutes before I done the unboxing, and we have some awesome art in the back. The people who are making the Arduin Adventure booklet, okay, the same guys who've done this, so it's similar quality you should be expecting. And this is like a proof of concept copy of what the book is. It's going to have a little bit of information here for you, but from what I looked and understand about this and what I was told, this is basically, think of, you know, the BX stuff. This is the basic sort of Arduin system they have in place, which I think is really cool. And by the way, if you hear explosions, that's because it's Halloween, guys. Yeah, I don't know too much about this, so I can't really speak too much on this. It's going to give you a handful of classes, a couple of races, and it's going to teach you how to play the game. And it has a simple like dungeon at the end. Actually, I would say simple. It's like 30 something rooms, I believe. 45 rooms, yeah. And you see this here? This is cool. I love this stuff. It gives you an idea what the weapons and stuff looks like in the world, so you can use that. You show this to your players. Oh, by the way, you have a sword, it looks like that. You have a crossbow, it looks like that. You're getting an idea of what things look like in your head, which I think is cool. Again, I can't speak on it because I haven't looked at this too much. Again, this is just an unboxing, it's not a review. The review will come later, but we have our Fraint and we have our Deodant, which is pretty cool, guys. So give me 1 sec, I need to check on something. And I am back. So we have the Lost Dungeons of Tonisborg. I'm insanely excited about this because I know the least about it in terms of everything that's in here. Probably besides this, the Arduin Adventure. Obviously this is about Blackmore essentially. So I think about the first 50 pages, it's about ideas. A little bit of history, and as well on referee advice, how to go about certain things, or basically advice how to do things, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And the stuff in here, because I know a lot of referees and DMs, whatever you want to call it, they love this book, and I'm basically getting it now. But yeah, there's an absolute ton of stuff in here, which is, I know guys who are super experienced and some of the best DMs I've ever come across, and they will tell you this is absolutely necessary, and it's just going to help you. You might get a few ideas from things, like, you know, talk about not fudging stuff, just, you know, stuff that you don't expect, but like how to do puzzles and how they're going to work, restocking, how to get to the dungeon and all that stuff, and then work for the referee. And now we have the actual dungeon, guys. I believe this is about another 50 or so pages of content, but it's 10 levels and it's absolutely huge. Again, I will be spending a lot of time reading this and hopefully playing a bit of it before I will talk about it on the channel. I will do a full in-depth review of this by itself. The same with each of the stuff here, pretty much anyway. We'll have a look at the Arduin Adventure as well, but then this is Tonisborg, and I'm insanely excited to go over this. There is again, I don't know much about it, but I do like the layout. I like how we have a dungeon here, what all the symbols mean, different stairwells, the pits, blah blah blah. This is more DM side stuff, but it tells you location and what's in it, what monsters are in it, which is great. Even to this day, you have people who don't do that. But yeah, this looks cool as hell, guys. Some awesome little bit of artwork there. It looks like it's done in crayon. And you have a simple character sheet. Now you have a bunch of new rules in here. So again, if you don't want to use the rules from the stuff in here, you can start off your game with this simple rule system, and you're going to have a great time. It's going to be simple, it's going to be fun, but then maybe after a while you're like, let's throw some B&B stuff in here. Oh, let's throw some kill kittens at these guys. Let's see how that goes. And then maybe have these players go to another world. Yeah, that's awesome. I love your cleric. You have your your fighter. You have your cleric and your magic user here. I believe there's also we have our halflings, we have our dwarfs, we have our humans. I think there's elves as well. I'm not sure. Yep, I believe there's elves. We talked about alignment, saving throws, how things work. Cleric spells, magic user spells, and spell progression for levels. Experience charts for everyone, progression charts. Hireling stuff, again. Outfit and adventures. Now this uses gold as a standard from what I understand. Whereas B&B, well, we're playing it is silver. But you know, if you want to just use this and then you go over to B&B world, you can say all your gold turns to silver, you know. Or you say, okay, you have more gold. I talked about mapping here, healing, fatigue, non-lethal combat, locked doors, secret doors, wandering monsters, numbers of them, step-by-step dungeon stocking. There is a lot of great advice in here. And I think just for the advice alone, between some of the back-end stuff here, for the actual system it has, and then the actual pure referee advice and game advice, this is more than worth the value you're getting. If you got this by itself, like, and you're getting everything here in this set. They said originally it was like 52% off. I'm like, nope. And they've started coming around and be like, oh yeah, we didn't actually factor in the value of the minis. They didn't factor in the value of Radioactive Boogaloo and Dracula in Space. So you know, it's $145. It's basically $300 of content value, but it's really more close to I think $400. When you put everything into reality, you know, stretch goal stuff as well, the extra prints they're doing, the booklets here. But yeah, I really, really cannot wait to get deep into Tonisborg. I think it's going to be so much fun, and it's going to be great to have people play through this, and they're going to learn more history. Now we're getting to the final section, guys. I don't know how long this video is. I think it's going to be quite a bit, but this is going to be going up tonight, so. Again, if you hear banging, no one's being shot. It's fireworks. It's Halloween after all. And there's an absolute ton of stuff. Now, these bags we're opening, these are waterproof. These are super amazing bags. Sorry guys, I got it stuck in the corners on something. But you have these cool little stickers, the Frank on it, that's pretty cool. You then have these art prints, and these are freaking awesome, guys. They look cool, they're very pretty, they feel great, they're on nice cardstock, and they have all the stuff embossed here. And you get 2 of these. Look, you have your deodorant there. You have your little pickpocket here going against your what looks to be maybe a dwarf lady. You then get prints of Hargrave's original world map. I believe this is most of it, or is this the original Arduin map, I believe? I'm not really sure, because Arduin is not just Arduin, it does have its own extra world setting. But again, you then have some dungeon, the Howling Tower. This is the layout of the Howling Tower. Jesus, imagine mapping that, guys. One of our players is the mapper. And he's doing a great job, to be honest. I don't know, I couldn't do that. I knew it was going to be rough. And I'd never actually seen the layout of the book, but I just knew. Oh my god, we have these maps. Oh my god, I think this is the quote small version, just because of the weight of it and how it feels. And if this is the small version, guys, it is not bloody small. This is huge. I actually cannot physically get this on camera. I have my camera up as high as it will go, or just about. But Jesus, now you can see on the border, the borders here. Yeah, there you go. You see all these flags. From what I remember and understand, there's a channel called Shadow and Sun. Okay, you can see he's a really nice guy. He's been on Discord. He's a good channel. You should check it out. Just Shadow and Sun. I believe his son actually done all the flags around the edges when he was like 15. The dude's like, that's crazy. Now just unfold this other map, and it is definitely bigger. Oh my god, yeah, it's much bigger. Okay. Yeah, this is too big for the camera, guys. The other one was too big, but this is definitely too big. Yeah, I don't know. I can't actually show this properly on camera. Sorry about that. But this is all on parchment paper, guys. So, give me 1 sec. But yeah, guys, that is basically the video. So this was a look at other stuff you're going to get in the Kickstarter. So if you haven't signed up for Kickstarter now and you like the look of it, jump on it now. And the only reason I'm saying that is I'm not trying to like get people to buy stuff because my buddy's involved. That is a plus. You are getting a ton of content, and when this goes up for sale, it will not be going up for like retail after. The only retail stuff that will be done after is stuff that's been left over. So everything you're getting here, you're getting a massive discount. When you work it out, it's really more like 63% off everything. So I don't know how much is actually going to go for sale with the leftover stuff. Just let you guys know. So if you want to get it now. You're going to get a massive discount. And this entire bundle we looked at here, $145, PDFs included. This doesn't include PDF stuff for stretch goals. Like, again, bonkers. So that's the video, guys. Thank you for tuning in. There's still a couple hours left, so if you want, go check out the video. I'll check out the Kickstarter. I'll leave the link below, and everyone's websites and channels who earned X accounts, all that stuff who are involved in this. It's all going to be down in the description in the pinned comment, so please check it out if you haven't. Again, thank you, goodbye, and remember, we will be doing reviews on everything we saw here. Have a good one, guys. It's been great.